Good morning. Hey, Caroline, you up early.
I am up early. I was happy for the tunes. I'm like, I went from sleepy to ready to go in about 2 minutes. Thank you.
It's the holiday season, so we're playing
Mhm.
all our holiday music. And then when we get the show started, we pop right into our theme music. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
I'm glad that you're back because I enjoyed the first journal,
Yeah.
which I still have, which is such a beautifully put together body of work.
Thank you so much. It means, I will say we've heard that from a lot of people. They really enjoyed having like this tangible book that they could hold. I still have mine out on my coffee table in my home, so it's exciting to add a second volume, which we actually got from the printers yesterday.
Oh,
So yeah, it's beautiful. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you do something and it goes well, and then you have to do it the second time around. And it's like, can I capture the magic again? And I do feel really confident that we nailed it 2 times in a row.
I
So.
love it. I love it. So tell folks about the Justice Collaboratory at Yale.
Absolutely. And, again, I just want to thank you so much for being a supporter of us and always inviting us on the show. So the Justice Collaboratory at Yale Law School is a group of nationally recognized academics and researchers all working together to build a more just, effective, and democratic criminal justice system, sometimes called a criminal legal system. We were founded in 2015 by two faculty members at the law school. That's Tracy Mears and Tom Tyler.
Mhm.
And we have an interdisciplinary network. So, what that means is instead of just looking at the criminal justice system through the lens of law, we have doctors who are members of the collaboratory, lawyers, historians, psychologists, philosophers, political scientists, and they're all really recognized as leaders in their field. So together, we're sort of committed to this idea of academic rigor and collaboration to really advance theory-driven public policies. And it's all about building strong, safe communities where really everyone can thrive.
Yeah, but
Um,
this is not some old boring body of work. Like
yeah,
it has a real artistic slant to it
it
that
does.
is
Yeah.
engaging, and people want this thing, right? Like people find it useful, not only useful, but nice to have out.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a good point. And it's you really hit the nail on the head as to why we wanted to create this publication. At the end of the day, it's called the Notebook. The Notebook is in a class by itself. When we came up with the idea a few years ago, we wanted basically a magazine that was not academic, but included the voices of course, academics, but also the voices of those who maybe had been impacted by the justice system, and to really engage audiences beyond like the typical academic setting. And so we've done this with a really sort of diverse way of highlighting these verses, highlighting these voices. Um, so, at the end of the day, we really felt like you can't make change in a community if academics are only talking to each other, right?
Hmm.
We wanted to get this out there. We wanted to engage audiences. We wanted to engage, just the basic reader who's interested in sitting down and reading a magazine and maybe learning a little bit about this. So we really wanted to create something that was compelling. And so yeah, it's not like you're just sitting there reading words after words. It has this year we have our first ever graphic novel, which is a depiction of,
Which is such a big deal because
it's so
graphic
cool.
novels are just off the charts right now, everywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
even the late John Lewis had a graphic novel,
that's
a
right.
series
Yes,
of
of
graphic
course.
novels. I had somebody gifted them to me, and they are well done. So,
It's a great way to like engage with maybe something that feels a little dry, and
hmm
then suddenly it's jumping off the page at you. You know, this piece was written by Ben Justice, who's a member of the Collaboratory, and illustrated by an artist named Tom Torrey. It's basically the basic premise is two aliens arrive on Earth and are sort of like, what's going on here? You know, and but it's really a deep discussion of inequity. So that's a great example. So we have this like graphic article. We have original art. Some of the original art was actually contributed by students at the ACES Educational Center for the Arts in New Haven. There's original poetry. There's legal case studies, like a real range of unique ways to digest and interact with a lot of information.
I love it. So you're hosting an event this Saturday, right, on the 6th
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
launch this thing, right? Because it's
Yeah,
it's jumping into the world
it
at
is.
Next Haven, I
At
think.
Next Haven, are one of our favorite places to host events. Next Haven is an amazing partner. It's an amazing space here in New Haven. And it's always sort of a unique and fun for us to host events off campus. So it really feels like we're inviting the public to join us. Because really, New Haven is central to the notebook. We have several authors that are from New Haven, artists that live here who all contributed to this publication, which is really an international publication. So we would love to invite the community to the celebration around its release. And that is this coming Saturday, December 6th. It starts at 5:30 at Next Haven. It's totally free, but you do need a ticket. So I recommend, and everyone visits our website, which is just justicehappenshere.yale.edu. And
Okay.
you can go ahead and RSVP there. But we'd love to see you. We're gonna have drinks. We're gonna have some food. I keep telling people there won't be dancing, but who knows where the night will lead. And a great panel, about an hour-long panel with one of our contributing authors, Dawn Poindexter, who lives in New Haven, as well as an artist who drew all the original art. This piece behind me, if those who are looking on Zoom, was a piece in the notebook by Hector Rodriguez. So it's a great night. It'll be just long enough to go out, have fun, engage with new people. And I can tell you more about it, but yeah,
I
those are the
love
main
it.
things.
So when you did the first one, which is beautifully done, what was the theme of that one? I
That so
see it
the,
in my
it was community vitality, and that came
yes,
out that came out in 2024.
yes. And so this year's theme is solidarity,
Solidarities in the plural.
solidarities. And so
Yeah.
so tell me about that theme and and how long does it take for you to pull this together? Because
Yeah.
2024 was just last year, and that
Yeah. Well,
looked like that was a
it
big
was
undertaking.
listen, it was February of 2024, so it's more like it's been 2 years, but at least we can say once a year. I'll tell you what, it's a bit of an endeavor to take this from imagination to finished product. And picking the theme of solidarities was the very first thing we did. And I think that really is about sort of the connections we build, the collective actions we take, and the communities we nurture across different geographies and struggles, and really our own imagination. And so we just started from there. What are we going to spend the next year trying to develop, and what will still feel timely in a year as a theme? Um, and we did feel like this was a really timely theme because we are in a moment of extreme divisiveness, and
Mhm.
we really do believe in sort of the transformative power of partnership and connection and sort of being there for the people who need one another. And certainly collaboration is this thread that runs through everything that we do. So it seemed that, I guess what I'll say is I hope readers really engage with this work at a time when so many are searching for connection and so many are searching for common cause. So that's sort of how we settled on solidarities. And I can tell you a little bit about some of the interesting ways solidarity naturally manifested in this journal
Hmm.
as we started in ways like we didn't even expect it would. That was really cool. And if you do you want to hear a little bit about the process?
Yes, of
Okay.
course I do.
So, so basically, we come up with this theme and then we spend, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 4 months just soliciting contributions. And I use the term contributions really pointedly because it isn't like a normal academic journal where we put out a solicitation and people send it in and we do a peer review and we say, no, that's not, we don't want that, or yes, we want that. It's this extremely organic networking process of getting the right pieces and the right voices inside of the final product. So it's a lot of, sharing with our network. Hey, we're doing, texting people. We're starting volume 2 of the notebook. This is the theme. And then we also usually have a really specific idea of a couple things we know we want. Like we know we want poetry. We really wanted to include a graphic novel piece, a graphic article in the last one. We didn't get a chance, so we solicited that. We would talk to people. Is anyone interested in doing this? We'll find the illustrator for you. Um, and so we have these ideas. I really wanted a piece on mutual aid. So we, sort of started thinking about, okay, what's an example of mutual aid within the criminal justice system? We ended up with a piece from the executive director of the bail project, the bail fund, which is a great example of mutual aid. So we kind of get these ideas in our head, right? And then we go out and we try and match them and find the right person. And then, of course, we have to find the artist because the notebook is full of original art. And the art is created for the pieces. So once we have all 18 of the contributions, whether it be poetry or a legal case study or a more typical social science article, we find our artist and we work with him, we connect him with the contributor, we sort of help through the process, and then we end up with 5 pieces of original art to accompany some of the pieces in the notebook.
I
Uh,
love this because
yeah,
you know what? It makes this so fresh, and it
yeah,
allows
great
for
word.
people who work in um, the criminal justice system to see things from a different lens. I think even the
Mhm.
people who are contributing the written stuff and all the stuff, they
Yeah,
get to see their work interpreted through art in a way that I don't know if they would on their own.
yeah, and sometimes we have to push a little, right, with the contributors.
Oh,
Like,
I can imagine, Caroline.
I'm not pushy. I'm fine. No.
I can imagine you have to convince people. Listen, I'm gonna take your very academic
Mhm.
thing and I
Yeah.
will put some art to it, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be good.
Yeah, yeah. Or someone will say yeah, people take so when people hear Yale Law School and they hear a publication coming out of Yale Law School, they suddenly get very literal, right? And like very sincere and like they have this idea in their head of what they're trying to do. So the editorial team, which is made up of myself and then 2 other members of the Collaboratory, Dana Green and Beth Parker, it is a sort of like an interesting hand-holding experience because for a lot of people they've never written in this sort of medium before. And that goes on both ends of the spectrum. This notebook has a piece from Jennifer Richardson, who is sort of, she's about as big deal as it gets as far as a scholar. She was a
Mm-hmm.
MacArthur genius. She's published widely, extremely respected in her field. She really is an expert on the psychology of camaraderie, the psychology of solidarities. She has a piece in this. And then we also have a piece by someone who, was just released from prison. And both of these people had to go through the same exercise of what it means to publish in this kind of publication.
Yeah,
And
because
to,
nobody wants to be made a fool of, and no,
no,
and
yeah.
everybody wants to be. I imagine I'm a serious scholar, and I need to be taken seriously. And she's a woman, so that's a
Mhm.
whole other dimension of things.
Yeah.
But in your warm and comforting way, you guide them and you like, okay,
Hmm.
this is what we've done, this is what we're doing, and you will shine. You will still shine,
Yeah.
but it'll be a different kind of medium that you're stepping into. And I think that's wonderful.
Well, thank you. And I always give a lot of credit to our authors and our contributors. I think it does take a lot of bravery to step out there in this medium and write something candidly that isn't, hidden maybe behind a paywall of a big academic journal. And you could think, well, maybe no one's really going to read that outside of academia, and then I'll get some grace because they'll understand it's a scholarly piece. Like this is for the layperson, this is for a popular audience. Our goal is for a lot of people to read it and
So
share
when
it.
you took this on, Caroline, when you took this job on and you knew you were going to do a journal, did you have in your mind that you didn't want to do the typical normal, tried and true academic journal where, you know, we
Mhm.
did it and then that's it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was sort of where we started. We heard from our members who are, sort of our core faculty members across Yale and several other universities. They understood as well that they were experts, but a lot of their expertise was sort of trapped within the ivory tower, if you will. And so as a group, gosh, probably 3, 4 years ago, we did a visioning exercise together about if we were to create a journal, what would it look like? And so that was like an all-day brainstorming. We were all in the room, about 30 of us together in a room. We had a graphic recorder there who's someone who, takes notes as you're talking, but sort of draws pictures at the same time. And she led us, and we sort of led each other through this exercise of if we were to create a publication, what would it have to be true to the mission of the Justice Collaboratory and what we were trying to envision long term as far as our impact outside of academia. We talk about being in the world. What's the impact we would have in the world with a publication? And how could we take up a space where there was a gap? Right. So, like, you can think of this very traditional world, and then we're like, we want to make something divergent, but what does that mean? And I should send you a picture because it's sort of mind-blowing to see that mural that we created, how many things we were able to do with the publication, just based on that initial sitting around thinking, all right, let's imagine as big as we can. How do we create something that includes new voices, that can engage audiences, that is beautiful? And then we were able to really like do it. So it's a cool reflection for me to look back where we started to where we are now.
Caroline, you must have the coolest job anywhere.
I know
Like you
I get
have
that a
got to have
lot.
the coolest job.
Thank you.
Now, do you now that it's about to go out into the world and launch? Do you start working on number three?
You just had to ask that, didn't you? No, no, I'm working on a nap, Babs, is what I'm working on. No, that's a great question. And the goal is to always do this. And I think we give ourselves grace on what the timeline is because we want this experience to feel generative for everyone, for the editors, the artists, the authors. We don't want anyone to be like, oof, we got to do that again, because that's when I feel like the magic gets lost when we get in this routine, this grind, this natural thing of burnout of like, well, I got to do better than I did the time before.
Mm.
And so I think our goal is always to keep doing this, but maybe it's every 6 months, maybe it's every 18 months. It's really when we feel like there is a void and there is something that needs to be shared. And obviously solidarities at this time just felt like, all right, let's do it. Let's get another volume out there.
Oh, because these are challenging times, and the everybody is hoping the legal profession will be the empire that fights back. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
you know.
I yeah, they are. It is challenging times. There's no way around that. And like I said, I hope readers engage with this because so many are searching for sort of a connection and hope. And I will tell you, this volume is full of hope, and it is all about the ways that people, even at their lowest, found the collective and found joy and light when they were told there was not supposed to be any. And we're told that maybe their future was over, or they were really at the lowest point in their lives. I mean, there are pieces in here, from Dawn, who's a resident in New Haven, who lost her child to gun violence. And she wrote a beautiful piece about what it meant to, it's called From a Different Perspective, to sort of go from being the grieving mother to the evolution of understanding the cycle of trauma and violence in her community. And that could have easily been a piece that felt dark, but it's actually a piece that is full of energy and light and hope. There are other pieces about what it means to nurture a relationship behind prison walls, right? And also across. But there's a piece written by an aunt and a niece who were incarcerated together and what it meant to find family in a place where family was not really supposed to be. Um, I mean, I could go on and on. There's this amazing piece again about mutual aid, about communities coming together to raise bail funds. Like the drumbeat of this volume is, listen, it might not be easy and it might take a while, but if we work together, we will make progress. We will get to where we want to go together. And trust me, there is humanity left, even in the darkest corners of what we're experiencing right now. And yeah,
So, Caroline, how do people get their hands on this?
great
Is it
question.
for sale? Is it free? Can I get it at the
Great.
library? And I know you're going to send me a copy. I know it.
Of course. I'll send you two. Um, so, there's a few things that you can always expect when it comes to the notebook, and one of them is that it will always be free. You can find it on our website. Again, that's justicehappenshere.yale.edu, or you can just, Google Justice Collab at Yale. It'll pop up. And it's on our website. It goes live this Saturday, December 6th. So you can go to our website on Saturday, you can download it. We do have hard copies available. They're sort of, friends of the Justice Collaboratory thing. So, if you want one out here and Babz or me, maybe send me a message and we'll hook you up.
I'm gonna
Um,
put one in the little library in front of
oh,
my
cool.
house because
Great
I
idea.
I have a little library, and Professor James Foreman has put books in there, and
Of
other
course.
folks have put books in. So I'm gonna get one for myself for the porch, and I'm gonna put
Yeah,
one in the little library because
that's a
I
great
think this will be
idea.
great. Because I live in Newhallville, so you know,
No,
folks read over here. So
yeah, you read good. I'm glad people are still reading. That's the whole point of this. Um, and also, if you do, so, and this, we've never done this before, but if you are at the event on Saturday for the first time, we are going to be selling for a reduced amount because we've never sold them before, some hard copies because I think a lot of people wanted them, and it's sort of a passion project, right? Like we're really losing money on this instead of making it, but we understand that it's this beautiful, tangible thing, and some people are going to want a hard copy. So it's a great way to sort of donate to the work of the Collaboratory, support these voices that we're publishing. So if you do want a hard copy, show up on Saturday at Next Haven, and they will be there for purchase.
I love it. So next day is Saturday, December 6th.
Yes,
From what time? 5 o'clock.
5:30,
5:30.
5:30 to 8. So you can still go out and have dinner after.
Yes, you can still go. So there'll be a panel
Mm-hmm.
discussion, right?
Yep,
There'll be food and drink,
correct.
talking to other people. You'll be in the room with other people who care deeply about all the connections and solidarities.
Yes, and there will so our artist, so Hector Rodriguez is our artist. He will be there. He's bringing some of the pieces from the original pieces with him. Hector has a fascinating story. He was incarcerated for 27 years. He then was connected with the Yale Prison Education Initiative, which is how we met him. And through that, has now just started his MFA. So he's getting his master's degree in sort of honing his skills in painting. So he will be there with the art. And another small thing I'll notice, which is there will be an opportunity at the event to be in solidarity with everyone else there. So there's going to be I don't want to ruin the surprise, but there's a great organization called One Small Step that's about building connections. They will be there, and there's going to be a group activity for all 150 people who are in the room to sort of meet someone new and across this divide create solidarity with someone new at the event. So it's going to be a really special night, and we do hope people are able to join us. We'd love to have you.
Well, thank you, Caroline Noble, for coming on and getting up early to
My
to
pleasure.
talk with me. So I'm excited about this notebook, volume 2, and I can't wait to see what you do the next time you do it.
Maybe you'll write a piece for us, Babs, for the next one.
Listen, I could dust off a pen and piece of paper. I can.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is one thing that I found really interesting about this volume, right? It's solidarities and people we solicited pieces from an individual author, and then they would say, I think I want to co-author with someone, or I think I want to be in conversation. So it turns out that writing about the theme solidarities in the singular just felt wrong, right? Like everyone really wanted to tell a story with someone that they had experienced this feeling with. And I just thought that was so cool that that happened totally naturally, that people came to us and said, I don't want to write it alone. I want to tell this story of solidarity with the person I experienced it with.
I
So,
love this, Caroline. I think I'm telling you, you have the coolest job, and you are you and you're making the legal world look interesting and exciting.
listen, I'm really lucky. I have an amazing group of colleagues and staff that make it easy.
Well, I thank you for getting up early this morning. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next. I got my eye on the Justice Collaboratory and what y'all do. I'm a fan and a supporter. And so I hope Saturday's event gives you everything that you want to see happen. And then I'm looking forward to getting my copies of Solidarities.
You are top of the list, Babs. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Happy holidays, Caroline.
Happy holidays. I'm up now. I'm gonna put on my Christmas carols and yeah,
I know, right? You're in the mood now.
I
Cup of
am. Let's go.
coffee, you're up. So thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye
All
bye.
righty. All right. Thanks, Harry Droz. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow I got my exams. So pray for me. Torts finals is tomorrow. So I'm on my way to go study. I'll talk to y'all later.